I'm Shawna Lee. This is Infinity Readings, and this is the reading for Libra, the bonus reading for Libra. So welcome in, and we will get started. I've got some new cards here, so I'm showing them off. And we're working it into the above and below kind of sense of things, meaning the angelic higher realm of energy and the 3D earth realm of energy. So as we get into the energy of the Libra here, on the 3D earth, we have our below cards. So we'll start with the first one for you, Libra, and that is the Knave of Cups, chalices. Yeah, now, I don't know if this is narcissist, the whole story of looking and falling in love with the reflection in the mirror, and they're going, check, they're giving me a check for that. They're going, but not in the traditional fable type way. The thing here is we are starting to learn to accept ourselves in a loving, compassionate kind of way, is the sense. They're giving me a softer feel to that, Libra is. So, and this is also being guided from Universal. They want you to accept yourself as you move forward, and it'll be more clear. Those that accept themselves, is more clear to them who is worthy of their energy as they accept themselves more freely, this kind of thing. So I feel like we put in some self-work here. The Lotus is like there may have been some dark energies we had to deal with in order to come above, because the Lotus, it thrives in the muckiest of waters, right? And what it does is it cleans itself up, and the beautiful flower that comes on the lily pad, right? This is how does it show to the world. And that's the thing, is even though we've come from dark energy, we can still clean ourselves up to a degree that we're not dark ourselves. That's what they're really, and they're congratulating you for going with this flow of correcting the self, and knowing that just because others act in a certain kind of way because of certain circumstances doesn't mean we have to follow suit. Okay, so yeah, there's a bit of a trail here that's been happening. That's what I get for the Knave of Cups here. Wow, that's good. Okay, so as we move into the second card on the below series, we get the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands, this card always speaks to me about someone who's doing the 9 to 5 or doing, working to a degree that they don't take care of their spiritual selves. Obviously you did to get to this point, right? Where we're the Lotus now sitting on top of the lily pad, and the mud is underneath us, if you get my drift. So we have brought ourselves to the top of the water, so to speak, right? The problem here is we're getting caught up in a lot of burdening behavior that is really keeping us from truly flying above the water. Because they're showing me the Lotus, then they're showing me how the dragonfly kind of goes from underneath the water, and then it flies free of the Lotus, the flower, everything. It's free of the river. It flies out into the great beyond, right? So they're showing me this is where the Libra is stuck. They're stuck on the lily pad. They're beautiful. And, everybody outside of them sees them as beautiful spiritually. This is being seen and noticed. But we ourselves can't seem to get us off the lily pad. We're looking beautiful and great, but how do we fly in freedom? I think another one here is getting used to the heaviness of the 3D universe. So the Ten of Wands is the burden. Now it's the 10, so you cannot go no further here before you transform. So the sense here is being in the mid of this reading, that we may get above this yet, but a sense that we know we are at a crux point here. So as we move into the future here, what do we get for the below card? We get 0, the Fool, yeah, and that is the freedom to walk. Even though she's still got her feet on the ground, she is moving on the ground. So we've come to realize we are this lotus, and we've come from a lot of darkness, but we can still be beautiful on the outside, and we learn and grow, and we are more spiritually sound because of that darkness, right? So it did serve us to a certain degree. Now we're rising above it, and we're starting to look to our universe for all those beautiful and wonderful things that will be coming at us. And here they're showing me all the little animals, right? That's the beauty the Libra's seeing in the universe. Again, we can get dragged down by a job, by a relationship, by things in our field, but we still have the core, a solid core, that we know that there's beautiful things around us. And we're going in that way, like nothing can stop the appreciation of that beautiful life, right? This is a sense. We're not going to be dragged down by it. We've risen above it, and now we're flying in it, is the sense. Or learning to fly, kind of thing. Oh, there's my song. So anyway, as we move on to the Knave of Cups, we get into the Curious Creatures cards. What do we get on top of that Knave? Again, a lot of self-acceptance here. And not only that, but realizing, I do have things, and I am unique, and I have, this kind of stuff is bubbling up in ourselves, and is giving us a fervor that is helping us get into that new, Fool energy of going in a new way, right? So on top of that, again, the High Priestess, wow. Yeah, the High Priestess, is the connection to inner knowledge. Usually the High Priestess, she carries knowledge. And look at the white and the black. It's symbolizing that, yes, I had a dark side of my life, but I'm not going to let it overwhelm me. And not only that, I'm looking towards the light of things, and I prefer that. And I see with light, because they're showing me that eye and the... Sorry. You're going to hear noises. What's he doing? Oh, yeah, he's doing right in front of the window. He's fixing the road. This is awesome. Again, there's no coincidences, right? It's like a worker trying to build, right? Because what they're doing outside, literally, there's potholes, like what do you call a washboard? It's those little bumps in life. And they got to fill them over so he smooths things, right? That's what he's doing out there. Just give me a minute. Taking in my surroundings. That's what he's doing. He just dumped the dirt. The dirt is in there. It's a big pile. Now we got to smooth it out. So this is like us looking at our own character, right? Because we had some washboard. If you don't know what washboard is, you got to know what washboard is. But if you don't, on country roads, right, dirt roads, after a rain or something, when you have like puddles of water, they sit and they sink the earth. So you have these little bumps, and then you could drive over them in a little Chevette, and you'll feel every little bump. It'll be, you'll go through. It's like you get through, and it's not a nice ride, right? You don't want to go on a road like that. That's where we came from. It's like we had all these little mishaps, like we had emotional problems from past relationships that we didn't smooth over, we didn't heal from, but now we're healed, right? So this is happening for a reason. You got to use your surroundings, Libra. They're trying to get through to you on physical level. This is totally something else. See, now he's smoothed it all. Now he's filled those little bumps, right? He smoothed it, and there's still water. Give me a minute to assess here. I gotta move the Kleenex box. Yeah, and he's running over it and flattening it out. Yeah, oh, there's a bump there. He hit a bump there. Just roll with me, will ya? Libra, I know you can do that. There he goes. Oh, he's going to get another load. He's short. He's short. He's got a little bit of a... You heard that bang, right? That was him running over it and going, oh, there's another bump here. I got to go and get more dirt and fill these holes. Now, he's smoothed out 3/4. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, about 3/4 of that road. And he's got about half to go here. Because he's got to get up to the stop sign and around the corner. I'm getting it. They're just downloading it for me, right? But Libra, you get it? You're smoothing out some rough spots. It's really what's happening in our character. And the rough spots are there because we've been treated badly from the darkness in the past. There's dark people, there's dark. Everybody has to heal from something. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to, even out those rough spots and, smooth it out. And just that happening right there is telling me you are going to see in your life. And it's making me cry because I think we might be isolated to a degree where we don't get validation. We don't have anybody to talk to in our surroundings about inner feelings, inner doubts. Certain people, they just don't, it doesn't matter to them. And you may have some softer signs in your chart where you think a lot more deeply than the average Joe. And average Joe is going, that don't matter. Just, work for the money and that's it. And it's like, no, I don't want to just work for the money. I want to be happy. And I want to be able to spread that happiness. And I want to be able to go where I'm happy so that other people can see me as being happy. And they know that other people can do happy because I'm doing it. Or whatever the thing is here. But your high priestess is really that inner part of you that knows I go left here or I go right here. And you've done the work, basically, is what's going on with this synchronicity here. You've done the work of smoothing out some of your rough edges. So they're making you aware of that. You're smoothing out those edges, and you know what? That's gonna change our field no less, spiritually. Here he comes, this guy with the, just give me a minute. It's part of the drama, right? There you go, he's lifting. I don't know if you can hear that, he's dumping. Yeah, the piles, right? He's making little piles over the biggest holes, right? And I think that's the work we've put in. We've done that. We put in this work. And we're going to smooth it out, right? And it may take us, the better part of this year is the sense I'm getting. They're showing me like that whole patch they got to fill outside is like roughly our year. So we're halfway, because we're not halfway through the year. It would be June, July, right? So, but we've already done half the work for this year. So we're ahead of the game is the sense they're giving me. See, when I pull back universally, because I've been in my 3D, I've been along with the Libra in my 3D universe, trying to enmesh myself in the 3D. I get nowhere. So, and then when I open up back, everything counts. Everything counts. Same with this scenario here. This guy had to rush to get that machine to get... The universe rushed him with his instinct to get him out here while I was doing this bloody reading so that I could get this message to you in a way that, shows you there's an alignment here. There's synchronicity here, and we just have to accept it and line up with it. And it is sad because sometimes these Libras, there's such a soft touch that they may not have other soft touches around them to communicate with, to correlate with, to throw things off of. And to get that thing like, yeah, you are right. Like you're not just, don't worry about it. You're too sensitive. This kind of stuff. This is what I'm getting. And I know that from the inside because a lot of people, that's my life. I have a great contradiction. I have people outside me hard and edgy, and I'm just soft and mushy, and there's no translation there. You don't bring it up. You don't talk about it. You don't. So, in essence, you're closeted, right? So anyway, carrying on with the reading. We are going to get interrupted, but he's moved down the road a bit. You're ahead of the system here, Libra. Your washboard is smoothing out. You're going to drive over that sucker like a Lincoln, just float. And you're not going to feel any of those bumps. Not after this year anyway, is the sense. We're not quite done, but we've, 50% they're showing me is smoothed out. So we're able to see and assess the problems in our character or whatever it was and smooth it out. And now we just got to keep going down that road. And our high priestess is here giving us that instinct. They're saying, yeah, we have the instinct. We know when we're overflowing. we have a great balance we like to strike in our universe, and when we're a little bit off, we feel it highly. So as we go into the burden card, the 10 of Wands, that's you being in your universe burdened by things that kind of don't matter. They matter on the physical plane, but spiritually, right? And this is the thing. We are refocusing ourselves in the physical world in order to take care of those problems, but the problem is in the spiritual realm. We have to kind of smooth some more things out there. So on top of that, what do we get from Curious Creatures? We get the Justice card, which, don't you know, that's your symbol. The Justice card is your card. It is Libra. And we will be successful in balancing the spiritual and the physical realms. I think we were out for a time. And I mean, I can relate to that too, because I was like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to check out. You can't be so wide open all the time. You have to check out of things because it's just too much information. You just go numb anyway. So I think you needed that contrast in order to strike this perfect balance. So as we go forward, this new energy, sorry again, but that is what it is. That's the universe talking to you. Again, I feel like you need to listen more to your universe outside of you, not just your own mental thoughts, not just other people's mental thoughts coming at you, but your universe. What's it doing? Like this guy that's, smoothing out things. How synchronistic. This is what you need to look at in your universe, okay? The Fool, as we go forward. King of Wands, would you look at that? That's taking complete, full acceptance of who you are, what you're capable of, and going forward and taking action in that kind of way for what we want, right? This King of Wands is kind of laid back, and, it's more of a mental process I get from him. But nonetheless, the Lion, right? They go and they take action. Give me a minute here, because it's expanding on the new energy that we come from. If we were seen as a pushover in the past, this is not where we're headed in the future. In fact, we will be, there's always a softer sense. I get a feminine sense here. It's like we are going forward to our future internally more sound, spiritually more sound, where we make decisions and there are decisions. We're not being pushed from left or right. We're not, even if we do, we know in our core more strongly than we ever have felt or sensed or whatever this is. And that's that high priestess energy from our past. Again, you learn lessons and then you ain't going to go there again. Or, yeah, that worked out, so I'm going to try that, to that degree again. But you will know internally, where to strike a balance there. And the King of Wands, that's fire element. So you will be in alignment with this year. I feel like you'll get, August, July, August. In that time there, you will get to a point where you will sink into your life more supremely, is what they said. Which means you will be more active in your life, more confident in your decisions, and more strategically going in a way that is satisfying. So it's almost like that puzzle piece. It fits perfect. It fits, it sinks right in there, and that's where it's meant to be. So we're really going to line up with our fate or our destiny, or, we're just going to line up with things more cleanly. And any of the rough patches that we've had in the past, sorry, but any of those rough patches, we're just going to smooth them all out. Look at, I said smooth, and that's exactly what he's doing he tipped the sucker over, and he's smoothing him out. Like, how more synchronistic can you get? You can't get any more than this. Like, I could get mad about this guy, and I've gotten mad about that in the past, but this is what it is. This is the universe going, you want synchronicity? Here you go. This guy's smoothing his life out so he can drive on it more smoothly and be more at peace. This is the gist. Okay, as we get into the alien cards here, I'm not going to shut the window either. The universe misses me being out of the field. That's what it is, and they may miss you too, because, being on that earth plane, it is heavy. It is burdensome. Lighten up and connect to your angelic realm. Connect to your higher self. Connect. That's what. Okay, and look at nothing. Where'd he go? Did he get more? No, he made it up to the stop sign. So, oh man, you know. And if I would have been 5 minutes later or 5 minutes earlier, this wouldn't have come through, right? So how we're in sync here, Libra. You're in sync. Okay. Alien cards. The High Priestess, again, our past. We have processed the darkness. We've utilized it and alchemized it and made the best of as we go forward. We have our instinct intact from what we've learned there. I think we're seeing from the light side of things here. We're having a bit of a glitch trying to switch over, but it's coming. On top of the High Priestess, what do we get? We get the Queen of Wands. Okay, and this symbolizes that we do have a partnership coming here. It may not be... Okay, chill here. Now, this King of Wands in the future, I feel that is your energy. I feel that is you. And how you are more strong and stringent in yourself. Your spiritual self is more sound. This Queen of Wands is symbolizing you, your character, a feminine self, right? So if you're masculine, you're doing this. If you're feminine, you're doing this. But to have the pair here, that symbolizes that a partnership. We may be ready for a partnership. We may have a partnership coming to be here because of our spiritual soundness, right? That we've worked on, and this is what I'm getting. Yeah, so the Queen of Wands really is a detractant. Yeah. And the sense they're giving me is this King of Wands may be looking in a different direction, but they're going to notice you when you cross their path. That's what I get. Because sometimes when you see the cards on the table, I have the Queen of Wands in the past sense of it, and then the King of Wands in the front. He's kind of looking a little bit to center to future. And the sense is that's the energy of time they're giving me. It's a little bit to center and future. We may even come across it in this season of Easter and spring, April-ish, of 2026, or whatever. But nonetheless, you are going to stand out to this person because the Queen of Wands, she stands out. When she walks in a room, man, everybody, all the heads turn. And even though that symbolizes like an Aries, a Leo, or a Sag, I have to say that. But it also symbolizes someone who is self-confident, who is not hiding any part of themselves. They're just free to see me as I am, that kind of thing. And usually with the Wands energy, that fire energy, usually they're very physically beautiful people, and they just kind of stand out. It's like, woo, wow, okay. Right? I got my views for the day because you look at the Queen of Wands, she's just beautiful. It puts it all in a good place there. So I feel like part of our growth through the darkness here has made us more beautiful. Now we can talk about physical appearance and spiritual appearance, because the spiritual side of ourselves has made us more confident in going forward in who we truly are. Again, accepting ourselves on deeper levels. So this is all good, that Queen of Wands energy. Now as we get into the justice tables here, as we balance our spiritual and our physical lives out, again, we become more attracted to people. And not only people, but people that are of our same vibration. Justice, what do we get on top of there? Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords are usually about trickery and whatnot. It can be about deception. In here, I'm trying to balance the energy. I just get a lot of swords pointing down, and I don't get a lot of the treacherousness. I do get piercing thoughts, though. And the piercing thoughts going into the negative. So we may have a bit of a challenge balancing things out. I think we are naturally in the flow now. Let's go forward and see where that sits, because I'm not getting a lot of energy. And usually when I don't get that, it's like it pivots on one of the cards that are coming. So the next card here on the King of Wands, to expand on his energy, we get the Five of Swords. Okay. Now this card usually symbolizes The Five of Swords is about, how'd you say, victory at the expense of someone else. Here, what do I get? I get someone holding their cards close to the chest. I feel like that's what this card symbolizes. And usually that's someone trying to keep things a secret from us. So this King of Wands that may come in our future here, they may have some secrets that we don't know about. Now, that Seven of Swords doesn't bode well for the present. And the Justice is looking at the King. Give me a minute here. The Justice card that we have here from the Curious Creatures is looking to the future and about the balance. This King of Wands that comes from our future, he may create an imbalance for us to have to stand up for. That's the sense they're giving me. Either he has some secrets he's not letting in on, which the King of Wands always going to have some secrets there. He's not one that wants to be open and honest about things, and it's usually strategically there. It's there because I need something that I can use for my own benefit, and that's why he does that, and that's for his highest good, right? Yeah, so we might have to be careful of this new person, even though they're a match to our energy that we grow into. We may have to watch him in the future. Let's go into the Metatron cards. These really ground things out. Okay, Queen of Wands, what do we get? Again, there's a lot of instinct, a lot of stuff we've dealt with and learned to deal with, and a great confidence of self that's coming forward and showing on the outside. We get the Caduceus, expanding knowledge and sexual vitality. Yeah, our knowledge base is expanding, and it's very much in the self way, meaning we are exploring the self in ways where we are discovering more clearly who we are. And we may have changed from the way we were in the past, is the sense they're giving me. And there's a new way we're being, and that's guided from, the central self. Basically from your higher self is guiding you to be the best part of you can be. And in order to do that, sometimes we have to push other things away in order to make that happen, because these other things are draining or, create conflict and whatnot. Now, as we move into the next row here, the Seven of Swords on top of the Justice, on top of the burden, I feel like, because we're talking, this row's energy is expanding on that burdening of the self. I feel like that comes from the Libra themselves. I feel like the Libra is burdening themselves with stuff. Now, that could be the trickery in itself. That could be the balance that needs to be struck. And, of course, it is. On top of that, what do we get? Heptagram. Celestial magic and sevens. Okay, give me a moment. When we get sevens in the macrocosm, that means the higher realms, the angelic realms, your guides, that which is of the light, okay? I feel like they're trying to guide you through the treacherous waters here. And unfortunately, the sense they're giving me is it's treacherous waters we put upon ourselves. We expect ourselves to be a certain way. We feel we should do certain things, and these are things that are not helping us unburden. They're helping us stay stagnant. So the universe is coming down to help you with that. And again, like all the synchronicities, I feel like the Libra, because the last reading, right, you had a bonus. So this is the bonus. And there was the initial reading was talking about the 3D music and looking. I feel highly charged to tell you, look outside your initial self at those things that you can't control. The music playing at the mall, the music playing at work, people talking in your surroundings. Sometimes you be in a moment where you're going to get a glass of water at the water cooler and you got to go back to work. And sometimes you can just hear a sentence from somebody. They're not talking to you. They're talking to somebody else. But those words mean something to you. That kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Synchronistic events. They are trying to talk to you highly. And I feel like we're missing out on a lot of this stuff. And if we're checking out of the spiritual realm, you will miss out on a lot of hints and clues, and like you could be way ahead of where you're at. But Totally Libra, I get it. Sometimes you just got to check out. But they're anxious to get you to check back in. So this is if you felt that little nudge intuitively, this is your one step to hurry that up a bit. Check back in and look in those areas, right? Sitting on the bus and then suddenly you look at a phrase or an ad on the thing and you just, oh yeah, that's talking to me. Utilize that energy. Don't just disregard it. Utilize it. It gets you, it's your shortcut. That's all I'll say. Okay, now as we go on the Five of Swords, we end this reading with what? The Ether card, Beyond Matter and Akasha. Okay. Give me a moment here because I feel like, yeah, that's the Ether. They want you back on track. I feel like the Libra here that I'm talking to, they have a lot of spiritual gifts, okay? And they may have taken a checkout time of like 7 a.m. They just want to check out early because they need the contrast is the sense that I'm getting. From the Libra I'm getting, like I need to check out. It's like I need to shut down this area so I can give myself a break. But the problem is you go into the physical universe and you get overloaded even more than tapping in. So it's like that other side of things wants to connect with you so that they unburden you from the physical burdens of the problems, right? Yeah. Our theory is incorrect. We're backwards. We need to check into the spiritual realm in order to relieve ourselves of the physical problems. Okay? This is what I'm getting. Okay, so Ether. Now, there's something also connected with this King of Wands in the future. Just give me a moment here. Yeah, okay. What they're telling me. Okay. There's a dude, a match for us. Now, I don't know if it's soulmate, whatever the word you want to put on it. I feel it's an opportunity coming to be here and an opportunity for growth. Whenever you have a relationship, that's what it is. Just an opportunity to grow with a person. You can take it or leave it. And, and this King of Wands, he may be a fire element, Aries, Leo, or Sag. This may be someone who has their interest in a different area than you are. Interested in, meaning you're the sense I'm getting from this Libra particular is you're a very spiritual person. You notice that realm quite highly. Okay. But again, we checked out of things, but we have the ability to do it. And we're going to tap back into that. And that's when this King of Wands is going to come, trotting into your universe. He's going to come trotting in. And he is they're going to be very grounded on the 3D earth. In fact, they're going to be burning shit up. Like, I feel like this King of Wands, he is everywhere and everything. He's very fast, very furious, very used to that energy. So he goes fast, and it's like it can spin the Libra in a circle, right? Just him moving past us spins in a circle. So he's way fast for our energy is the sense they're giving me. And they show me cartoons, like literally this king in a house, like if you were to be in a relationship, right? They're showing me he's zipped to go get coffee, zipped to go to the bathroom, zipped to go outside, and then he's gone. And he's, as he passes the Libra, she spins around, and then, it's like this, and this guy's energy is way fast. Now, what it's being introduced to you for is to understand that speed. They want you to see that speed. You may not feel comfortable with it at all, but they want you to introduce that speed to you in such a way through this person. And that person is very, I think that person could use a lot of your spiritual knowledge. And I don't know, frankly, if they're open to it. I think that they may be shut right out of it, but there is an interest in this, no less. Like, this is something that could be. For how long, I don't know. They're cutting that energy quite short, but they are showing me the dynamics, meaning the Libra is slow, methodical, very intuitive, but not pushy in that way. Like, oh, you should think. No, it's very internal spirituality, but that essence is attractive to this King of Wands. And if they're not an Aries, Leo, or Sag, they would be someone who's very active, likes to be kept busy, likes they can handle chaos quite well, and some of them even create it without even knowing it. But they like to be active. They like to be doing things. They like to be, and the Libra is I wouldn't be surprised if this Libra has some water elements, because they just feel like, well, just slow it down, relax. But again, this influence of fire is going to do you good, is the sense. It's for your highest good to learn some of these traits of this person. How long or what that influence is, it could be someone at work, it could be a life partner, but they're kind of showing me that this person is going to be in your universe and spin you in circles to a certain degree. How we gravitate, whatever. Now, this person is more than willing to step over people to get what they want. In fact, they've done this in their life and they have no problem with it. They've amalgamated that as this is how it's done. And some of the traits are going to come off as raw to the Libra. The Libra's going to go like, whoa, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. But again, it's never a one-way street. This King of Wands may need to learn about the softer edge of spirituality, and that may need to be introduced through you. And you may need to learn about the speedier side of life and how to, amalgamate that part into your life as well. So I feel like this is something to expand your knowledge base. And this ether card being here, beyond matter and Akasha, it really all that energy goes back to you. It's because you have an energy source that is able to tap into this quite effortlessly, the spiritual side of things, that this person may not even have a clue about. And you may not need to sit them down and talk to them about it, but just your influence of being how you are in respect to your own character and introducing this character, both of you need to see the other side of life, and this is going to be exposed in that person, and you're going to be exposed to them in that way as well. Because this person needs to learn to, this King of Wands in the future, he needs to learn to slow down and take things easy. And what better way than to fall in love with someone who has everything that they don't, right? Is to kind of, see how they can deal. How can they deal? Can they deal? Can this person adapt in little ways? Not that they change their character completely, but adapt in little ways that makes their life a little easier. And can the Libra adapt in little ways of the fire element to help them be a little more proactive in life rather than, right? So this is what I'm feeling through this reading. Very interesting energy. Yeah, this is neat stuff. So again, Akasha, that's life lessons and memories of past lives. So you could carry, or this person could trigger, this could be a past life person. This could be someone who, now this King of Wands, they're giving me kind of a really conservative attitude with this guy when it comes to spirituality. Like they may think, oh, from the heart, that's about as spiritual as they can get. When you say, oh, I sent that from my heart, that's about as deep as they can go. But again, the universe is trying to expand this person. And then they throw a Libra in there that just naturally flows. Like, again, you don't have to sit there and go spirituality 101 on their ass, but you can go and be who you are. And then they see that and feel that. And then they slowly adapt. It's like through osmosis we learn, right? So just little things. So you may meet your opposite here in the future. And again, there will be an attraction because, that happens with opposites. And it's everything that you carry may not be in this king. And everything that the queen carries is definitely, not in this king. Or, you see each other as amazing in certain ways, right? Because you carry things that are different. So I do feel like the king can only accept so much here. Trying to expand so you know who this person is when you see them. But they are very attracted. Like there's a very magnetic, like showing me the magnet, like clunk. They want to be with this person. And they don't quite understand that spiritual side. And it may not ever be broached, frankly, in the way. But again, if you're solid in who you are as a character, you shouldn't have to push any energy outward. You just be yourself. And they be themselves, and you both will learn and grow through this relationship. Now, this whole Akashic stuff, they're wanting me to express more. So this King of Wands, he may recognize you as a past life person, but he may not believe in past life stuff. Okay? This is what they're trying to say. They're going, we got to be careful here because we don't want to open Pandora's box in front of this guy. It might scare him away. But the sense they're giving me is there is something there. But again, your beliefs, if you don't believe in past life, you're not going to recognize that person as a past life partner. You're just going to go, man, that person looks familiar. That person feels so familiar to me. I don't know, that character, the laugh, the smile, the face, I just want more of it. That's what they're going to do. They're going to attract. And then from your end, you may get the same, right? And again, this, it could very well be a past life person. But again, where's our belief system? Give me a moment here. Yeah, I think the King of Wands is really going to be just, for the first little while, they'll be unaffected, meaning they'll be attracted to you, but they're very much an individual, right? That has their own stubborn ways. And I think it's going to take them a little while to decide whether, and again, depending on your age cycle here, if you're young, then you kind of go through things fast. In middle age, the same thing. You could do the same thing. And then later, you kind of have more of a tendency to kind of chill out on things and just kind of take things day by day. But I get this King of Wands. They're showing me 4 to 6 months. Again, the Libras, man, they're showing me way down the road. You guys need this because you're going to feel unsure of it, is a sense. And I feel like this King of Wands is going to learn something, but they are kind of closed-minded. It's really the sense I get. So if we're looking for validation through this partner for our spiritual selves, I don't think we're going to find it. I think we might have to find it in a friend or in some other way, shape, or form. But there is something that this King of Wands may not be able to express, and he may be keeping it to himself to a degree that he lies to himself about what this relationship is really about. Because I think it's going to challenge his whole belief system about spirituality. Like, again, I don't feel this guy tapping in to this side at all. But he's going to realize there's something more, right? But some people, they go, oh, when you meet the one, you just know, blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's as far as they can go, because you don't believe in past life. So you can't, all those feelings connected to that, you can't attach it because they don't accept it. So this is going to be that problem for that partner. But the Libra, again, with their grace and their acceptance and their willingness to go forward, they will go through quite a bit. And if that King of Wands opens up, which I kind of don't see, that's why I get the 5 of Swords. It's like I'm keeping everything close. And even if I know my partner can accept that, I don't want to hear about it. That's kind of the sense I'm getting from this dude. It's like, you know what? Even though I just don't want to hear about it, don't want to talk about it. Because it makes them feel inadequate in some way or unsteady or whatever. And they need to know that they're in charge of their life and da-da-da. And that's why they don't want to talk about it. It's like, it makes me feel like there's a whole other set of rules and I'm not I can't even go there. So just be aware of that in that future partner. I think you will be, because I think very early on we kind of send out feelers about things, and if it's not accepted, then we just shut that down. And unfortunately, yeah, this ain't going to be, but it doesn't mean that this partner ain't worthy of our attention and time. And again, we don't grow in other kinds of ways, because there are some elements here where the Libra needs to go there and learn the fire element more. You may not have a lot of fire in your chart, or you just may need to be exposed to more fiery people in order to bring those aspects out in you, if that's what you choose to do. Again, I'm not asking people to change their character, but you will feel that natural flow. Yeah, I can do this and I feel good about that. That's an expansion of knowledge. That's an expansion of, this does me good. Or, oh no, that feels like way overdrawn. I can't do that. Like that character line. I feel like the Libra's not done expanding their character. And this is another sense of that. So again, we're going to go beyond matter. I feel like that is going to be exposed to that King of Wands, but I don't feel them communicating with anybody about that. It's just going to be a deep inner feeling that really magnetizes them to you in that way, and they can either listen or not. So, Libra, there's your bonus. Okay, the expansion card that we have here from the astrological tarot. I took the main cards out. What do we get for the Libra and all this stuff? We get the Virgo card. That's not a fire sign, but you could be coming across a Virgo in your future. Let's look into the book, shall we? I got to read from the book on here what exactly, because again, these cards are really nailing these energies in a nutshell. Now, Virgo could be on the cusp of Leo Virgo. So you could be exposed to someone who's a cusper of Leo and Virgo, but more on the Virgo side. That would be an interesting match because, yeah, Leo Virgo would be very much one to take charge, and the Libra would be very much one taking the back seat. So it'd be a very cohesive in that way of allowance and dominance. It'd be very how would you say, not equally matched, because there's an overpower from the King of Wands, but there's also a muted energy in the Libra, so it works well together is what I would say. So let's go to the book on this, Virgo. Keywords here are love, connection, purity, organization, idealistic, health, and choice. I gotta say, the organization, I feel like this King of Wands a very organized person. And I feel like the Libra, it could use tips in that as well. I feel like this is going to be something that Libra may not want to learn, but could very well do them some good learning it from this particular person here who may be a Virgo. Okay. Virgo was born to create order in a chaotic world, and I did get that they're very used to chaos, and they're very they just go with flow. Like, the chaos to them is not anything beyond the norm, whereas to the Libra, they're like the deer going through the forest. Just be quiet and just, your eyes are that's the Libra. And the King of Wands, well, he's the lion, right? So he goes through whether things are graceful or not. We may not be graceful. We just go through, and we know we're the king, and that's it. We are the higher, like this kind of stuff. So this is an interesting balance being struck here between these two people, masculine and feminine. Now, right? To create order in a chaotic world, to be of service to humanity by keeping everything in good working order. And I do get a sense of order with this dude. I get a sense of very much, I like things a certain way. Like when I said stubborn, it was kind of in that way. Keeping good okay, let me start over here. So Virgo was born to create order in a chaotic world, to be of service to humanity by keeping everything in good working order. Sharp, clean, polished, and beautifully organized. They have a defined natural ability to know how to put things right, and they can't help but notice inconsistencies, mistakes, and small flaws in the everyday life. Not out of any malice or antagonism toward others, but to improve the life's functioning and make things run more smoothly for everyone. When I see this, I think of like a boss or someone who has this energy. So that could be someone as well, in that vein of being a boss in your field. So without Virgos, the world would descend into disarray. One of the most hardworking, conscientious signs of the zodiac, and certainly the most industrious. If anyone needs something done or to understand how things work, they ask a Virgo first because they know they'll receive a sensible, practical answer, and that's beautifully simple. Earth signs are connected to the tangible, practical world. In the Virgo's case, their restless thinking patterns operate through the physical body. Virgo is the zodiac sign most associated with health and healing, and this card may be asking you to turn your attention to this area. That's interesting because there may be some things here that King of Wands, like, again, it's Wands, but that Virgo type energy, because you can have all of these elements in a person no matter what their sign is. And this person likes to take charge and handle things. And I feel it can be overblown for the Libra because there's such a soft touch. Again, the Libra is very, like, graceful and, like, I feel soft spoken, the whole bit. It's all on that side. So the King of Wands energy can be like overpowering in some way, but universally they're showing me it's a detractant because that's everything that they lack. So they're going to attract to that because that's what they need to build in themselves more, right? So they're going to lean in that direction. And again, they may be repulsed or they may be more solidly feeling that kind of a thing. Interesting reading. Now, give me a minute here. They're showing me that caduceus. Now, they were talking about healing energy, right? The most associated with health and healing. This card may be asking you to turn your attention to this area. So one or both of you, they're going both of them, need healing in certain kinds of ways. I feel like the King of Wands will be healing to the Libra in the way of, kind of take charge attitude kind of thing. And they may even suss out things that the Libra is not yet thought of. Like there's a knowledge, because they're showing me that there's a different knowledge base here. Because the King of Wands, he focuses on different things than what the Libra focuses on, right? And they may need to expand that horizon through that king, and only the king can bring it to them in that kind of specific way. So this is definitely, I mean, I don't want to go too crazy with soulmate and all this stuff, but this is definitely the type of energy that comes about when a soulmate comes in, because they help you with these, they help you achieve these things in a natural progression and also in an attractant way. You get along and they both kind of bolster you and do stuff like this. That's what happens. Now, should I expand on the sexual vitality? Again, we're going to have to jump on them love readings and Rumble there after this. But I like to let a little bit of time pass because I want the energies to unfold. I want you to work on that spiritual self, and I want you to go through that and create that end point. And it may not even be where I predict. It may not even be in the new way. You may be stuck where you can't get in that new way. But when I give you that new energy, then it will unfold it, whatever. But you may do something different to create a different outcome, But I do feel like someone's going to come in your path here. And that could be someone literally, it could be a video on YouTube that gives you information. It could be a coworker at work that gives you, this kind of feeling. It could be anybody, anything, anywhere. But this person is very much a take charge person, and they deal, the sense they give me is they have seen chaos like nobody's seen chaos. And they don't figure it's chaos. They just deal with it. And that's something that the Libra is very shy to, or stays away from, or, any kind of chaos. Like, I don't like that. I don't feel comfortable. And if I even feel like there's going to be a bit of chaos, I just won't go there. So I feel like this King of Wands can help them feel more comfortable about a chaotic world that we're living in, that kind of thing. That's what I get. But you may not truly understand this King of Wands and what they truly feel, because I feel like they have this shield of armor around them that kind of nobody sees. There's a certain part to this person where there's a side of me ain't nobody seeing. My mama, nobody. My kids, nothing. Nobody sees that. It's this, and it's just ingrained in the Wands energy. It's like, that's who I am, and that's that. So nobody gets that. Just me. I have to hold that card because that's how I feel secure. If I let that card go, then I let my whole character go, and I just won't allow that. Because I'm strong and I'm stable and da-da-da. This is what I'm getting from this dude. So very much, you should feel safe and secure with this guy no matter. And if that's something that you like, then that may be someone that you gravitate to more in the future. Wow. A lot of energy here. And the universe is along with you to try and alleviate burdens and to make you feel more free on the physical plane. They're going, there's a translation problem between the physical and spiritual. Spiritually, we are freeing ourselves. We are working in the proper manner. We are smoothing out the washboard of our life, as they put in front of me. And that is good. We keep going down that train. The problem comes when we have to give up certain burdens that we feel we shouldn't. And that's the learning process. Maybe this King of Wands helps us with. Because sometimes if we get so stuck and we're doing so good spiritually, but we're so stuck on certain things, they will bring someone in to help you lift that field. And just the way this King of Wands worked, man, he's like, I don't know, because they're showing me like a drill bit kind of breaking through cement and chips flying everywhere, but it's going down a road and just creating a new path, right? The drill, yeah, that's on different levels. But anyway, chopping away at stuff that some people just see as cement they can't get through, right? And the Libra's seeing a cement wall, but this guy's going, oh no, we got things to deal with that because I deal with chaos. I can break this shit up all day. This is what this King of Wands is gonna do for your life. He's gonna break through those barriers, or you can reject him altogether and then go back and stay in the safety of staying behind the cement. And then this King of Wands is going to continue to do whatever he does, right? This is the outcome. But I do see you going in a new direction. And I see you being open to this, but how long that relationship lasts or how much influence you give that all is malleable, right? But I do think this King of Wands will have, and if he wants something, he go and take it. And the Libra, I don't want to say this offensively, but if you're passive enough, you will go in that flow. And it is for your highest good that you do that because, again, there's lots to learn from this dude on the other side of the tracks, right? He is on the other side of the tracks. He knows everything about the world that you are too scared to figure out on your own. Too scared to go in. And like you're, like the Libra, they're showing me board meeting, okay? To just set yourself. So the Libra walks into a board meeting. They're muted. They're wearing beige. They look very, very classy, very capable. The hair's smooth and everything. They come in with their glasses. They sit down. They look at everybody, make sure that everybody's awake and aware, and then they start the show. This King of Wands walks in, and he is patting everybody out. How you doing? How's your day? He's giving everybody coffee. He's starting the show. Is everybody ready? Like he's a step above. Not that this is a bad thing, but this is what they're showing me. And how do I translate? He's a force to be reckoned with. And it's like, again, that meek energy of the Libra, even though it's our natural state to be graceful and accepted softly and smoothly. Yeah, we just need to be prepared. They just said we just want them to be prepared, to not reject this outright. And though we have a high sense they won't because of their instinct and all that they know on the spiritual realm, we just want to make sure that this one's prepared. So there you go. There's a King of Wands coming in and maybe in a Virgo sign, may have fire elements like moon or other things in their chart highly, where they, bulldoze over things quite quickly. May be a little bit offensive for the Libra, but again, it's just something in your path. I gotta warn you about. So Libra, that is your bonus reading. Sorry, I get carried away on things, and then the universe comes and smooths things out. It all works for the best. So yeah. And again, Libra, I can empathize because I've been out of the loop for a while too, spiritually. And when you go back in, man, it's just going to be over. You're going to get overloaded with stuff. But the thing is, it's all good stuff. It's all good to help you better amalgamate. And that thing that you're strung up on, there's going to be somebody coming in to help you with that. And that's all you need to focus on for this time, because we are overthinkers and we need to just kind of relax and take each moment as it comes and be in the moment, be in the present, and that will help you as well. So Libra, that is your spirituality reading for the Easter spring season. Take care, have fun, and be kind, and we will talk to you soon.